Thank you for joining me. So this is going to be my very first video of everything RPG related that I did in the month of February. So I recorded a January happenings blog or vlog, and I published that in April because I was really far behind. That was pretty much just everything I did board game related. And so I was thinking about it, and I do have a lot of RPG stuff coming in, and I'm trying to do some solo plays. So I thought I would also add in my RPG items. I'm testing if I should split these videos up between RPG and board game items. Pretty much just because some months the video might get too long if I keep them combined, but it does mean double the videos that I have to record and edit. So we'll see what happens. I am going to talk about some of my channel stuff and just a few other things that aren't really board game or RPG related. So that stuff will be duplicated on the videos. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. So first I'm going to start talking about a game that I actually started creating 2 RPG characters for. So I started creating them in the month of February, and I didn't actually get some plays in until later. But it's the game is the first book in the Seidkona Saga. It's called Wizards of the High Tower, and I do happen to have it right here. So this is the book. So it's a 5e adventure, and it's basically, it's more an advanced version of like the old Choose Your Own Adventure books. So there are hooks in here that you can choose to do. They have, different things set up, different adventures. So you do have to create 2 D&D characters to play the game. So I started a fighter character for it, and then my second character is a sorcerer. And I have finished the characters. I've done actually a couple of plays already, but I did not get to that in February. I also received in the Dungeons & Dragons 2024-2025 version of the new Monster Manual. So I haven't had a chance to go through this one. I'm still looking through the Player's Handbook. But yeah, so everybody knows about the new it's been talked about a lot, so I'm not going to go too far into detail, but it's just the Monster Manual. My husband actually got it for me as a Christmas gift, so I got the set as they came out. So he got me the pre-order, and then that's it for that. I received, and then also in February I received the 3rd book in the Legendary Kingdoms Pirates of the Splintered Isles. So this is another book that can be played solo without a GM, and it also uses story prompts. So again, kind of like a Choose Your Own Adventure, there's different prompts, and so depending on what you decide to do, it sends you to a different section. Now this one's a little bit odd. So this company had issues while they were producing this book, and so they actually sold or joined with Spider-Mind Games. So Spider-Mind Games actually finished this Kickstarter and got it published and sent out to backers. Now the only problem is all they did was they got the books printed and sent. So the original Kickstarter also had some other pledges with like stuff. So I had also pledged for the Adventures pack, but it wasn't printed. They say I should be getting a credit on the next order though. So it actually was, you could get a credit immediately for that part, or you could get a credit on the next order. I actually didn't read that message because to be honest, I forgot that I had pledged for the Adventures pack because I don't often do that, especially with like one of these books. I might do it if there's like a starter kit or something. So I didn't pay too close of attention when that Kickstarter update came out, but they had issues, and thankfully Spider-Mind Games bought their license. So they took on the publishing of it, and they do plan on writing and printing the rest of the books. I think it was supposed to be like 6 or 7 books in the series. So they are paying Oliver Home to finish writing all of them, and they do plan on publishing them. So you win some, you lose some. For Dungeon in a Box, I'm still subscribed to the Dungeon in a Box series, and the next campaign actually started for me. So in January, I actually received the first box in the new campaign. And so the first box is titled Children of the Falling Star, Uncharted Lands. So I'm not going to go too far into depth with this one, but this is just the first book. And I do have a video of the first book of the original series that have to do with the Falling Star. So if you want to check that video out, it is there. Again, it's just like all the one in the video I did. You know, you have a few little pieces that you can pop out and create of terrain. They have their minis. Sorry, it's in a bag, so it might. But there's the minis, front and back. Yes, I haven't opened it yet. I got some cards of different creatures, and then the maps, and a bigger map too, which I haven't opened this, but it's like a heavy duty map. So I don't remember getting this type of map in the first one, but maybe I did. I remember like the paper or the slightly different paper maps, but this is like an actual like game board. It's like a thick cardboard. So yeah, I don't remember getting that in the last one, but who knows? It's been a while. And so I got that. And then in February, I actually received the second box of it as well. And it's been continuing since. And then you can tell they have a different box. So the first one was kind of like a chest, like that may have been like underwater or something. And so this is just a different box that they have, which is nice because then you know this is a different series. I also randomly joined it's the same company, Skinny Minis, Dungeon in a Box. They also have a GM Toolkit, which they just started the end of last year. I joined for a little bit just to see. I'm still receiving stuff, but I got a discount where whoever, if they subscribed within a certain amount of time, they got a discount for every box. So let's see. For January, I received the Exotic Elementals. So it's just a GM toolkit, and they just have information about exotic elementals, and then whatever. I've gotten Mushroom Folk. For February, I received Clockwork Creatures, which I do have that as well. So I might do maybe a video on the GM toolkit and maybe just show some of the stuff in there. So they give you a little book about it. 26 pages is this first one, 27 with the back cover, which has stuff on it. And then I do get, there's bases in there, and then obviously the little minis. So that was the exotic one for January. And then February, I got the Clockwork Creatures. So this one's kind of cool. So they have different creatures, monsters that you could do. They give you the stat blocks. They give you some different tables. So that's pretty cool. Clockwork Octopus, Clockwork Brewer. So some different things. And then, of course, the minis for that as well. Sorry, I haven't opened these. They're double-sided, though. But so very cool. But yeah, I'm thinking I might do a video, just a quick video. I always say quick. I like the word quick. Just a video on a few of the different ones, because I have gotten maybe 8-ish boxes right now. So that was the rest. That was pretty much most of what I received in. Oh, and then one last thing that I did receive. This was actually I received in the end of January, but since I never did a January video, I threw it into this one. Here it is. Rearrange. So I received in Kobold Press their campaign builder for Dungeons and Ruins. So this included the hardcover book, and then the map folio, and the PDF version. So this was a Kickstarter game found one of those crowdfunding ones. I think it was Kickstarter, but so again, do I need all of these books? No. I haven't even been a DM yet. I've only been a player in some games. But I actually do love my solo playthroughs. So, you know, one of these days I will DM something, possibly. So I got their book and then the map folio. Okay, and I think that's it for everything I basically received in end of January, February. There's probably some things I might be forgetting. I get a lot of stuff. I have a problem. As for other stuff that's RPG related, so I was reading the Shadowwood RPG core book. So I finished this book up in January. I did receive it, gosh, I want to say last year. They shipped stuff out. I don't remember when last year, but I finally got into the core book and I started reading it. It's really cool. I'm sure most people know about Shadowdark by now, but it's basically an older school version. So it's not quite the OSR type, but it's just an older version of D&D, kind of going back to Kelsey Dion wrote and is the author of Shadowdark and the Arcane Library. But it goes back to more of when she learned D&D, and it's more of the older versions of D&D. So I got through the book. I have started a solo playthrough with Shadowdark just to give it a go. So I've gotten a few sessions done. Yeah, so that's still in progress, but I finished that book in February. And then I've been reading this book by Justin Alexander that came out called So You Want to Be a Game Master, Everything You Need to Start Your Tabletop Adventure for Dungeons & Dragons, Pathfinder, and Other Systems. This has been a long time that I've been reading it. It's just really good information. I really like the book. It's just with life and everything, I wasn't able to finish it until this year. So I started it last year, but I really recommend checking this book out if you're even at all interested in being a game master. It's, as someone who's not DM'd or GM'd for a group yet, it took something that seemed really scary and broke it down into like bite-sized pieces and has a lot of great ideas and tips. It gives you homework that you can practice. So, you know, it takes you running through an already existing map adventure that he created, and then the homework is, you know, okay, now that you've been through it, create your own small adventure. So I really like this book. It's got a lot of great tips in it. And yeah, the only thing I'm bummed about is the cover. It's like I don't even know what kind. It's like a softer cover, but it because I've been reading it so much, it's starting to peel the top part off, which really bothers me. I love books and I'm a freak when it comes to not dog-earing stuff. You know, I hate it when corners get bent. So this one was going in a bag a lot. And so it kind of got what I consider it got thrashed on. It looks perfectly fine, but it bothers me. So I might randomly go out and buy a new version of it because, yeah, it bothers me. I'm just weird like that. So yes, that is a really good book with really good examples on on being a game master. There's little homework sections, like I mentioned. You create a small dungeon crawl, a hex crawl, and a mystery with clues. So yeah, I got that finished in February. That's about it for all of my RPG related stuff for February. So not too much playing in February. I was playing a little bit last year. I kind of got out of it and got more into reading some of the books and stuff. But since then, I actually have run through a few sessions of, you know, the different items, like that Seidkona series one, a couple sessions of Shadowdark. And I do have a couple of the other solo ones that I'm just have done a few sessions on. So I'm definitely playing more than I was. So for my channel news, not too much happened with the channel. I recorded the January happenings video, which I just got posted a few months late, but it's finally done. And so I recorded it and started editing it in February. I did some quick test recordings of different videos. So I recorded 3 different videos that I wanted to publish. The original January chat, just letting you know, kind of what's going on. And I hadn't posted in quite a few months, so it was just a really quick catch up. That one is quick. I know it's less than 10 minutes. I want to say it's like 5 to 9 minutes. So for me, that one actually is quick. I recorded the January happenings video, and then I recorded a body doubling video, which does sound really weird, but it's called body doubling, or it's like a co-working / focus session stuff. So I'd never heard of it before, but an RPG content creator that I follow, Ginny D, she did a live video of her doing this body doubling. So I talked to a couple friends of mine about it because I was like, is this weird? This seems kind of weird. So I was watching it, and then, you're like, I don't know. I don't understand. We're literally sitting here watching her on her computer while she's, responding to emails and typing. And I was like, I don't really get it. But then I couldn't stop watching it. So then after a few minutes, I'm like, all right, okay, I can get behind this. This is interesting. Like, I'm intrigued. So I finally figured out it's like, if you were to go to the library and you're surrounded by people who are working or reading or just quietly doing their own thing, and you're just in there as well, it kind of helps with like just helping you focus. So I've been kind of digging on this lately, but I discovered it in February. So I talked to a couple friends, and apparently this is a thing that I didn't know about. Building on top of that, my friend and I actually did a focus session in February. It was our first one. I studied some Python programming because I like to dabble in a bunch of different stuff. So I got into programming. So I started reading this Python book that I got, and then she worked on her book. She's a writer. She's written quite a few books. Her name is Paris Hansen. I will link some of her stuff in the description down below if you want to check it out. So she's written 11 books. Number 11's not published yet, but I believe she does have it scheduled to be published in May, so coming up soon. She's also written 3 novellas, and she is working on her 12th book now. She started with her first series was a romance series, and then she switched her second series to like a serial killer. So it was a mystery series. And then her third series is also mystery series, and that's what she's working on right now. So yeah, I'm very excited to read her upcoming book. All right. Other stuff that I received in, not really related to RPG at all, but might as well talk about it. I received in the Conquest journals that I had ordered. So I ordered a reading journal because it was really cool. My friend found it, and I was like, ooh, that's really cool. So I was debating if I wanted to repurpose it into a gaming journal. So instead of writing down the books that I read, I would write about the games that I read. So I started to do that. It's called Waiting for the Night is the series. Again, it is a reading journal. So it's just got some cool art, cool ways that you can use this. This is board games that I had done. I've played January through March. So it looks like, book covers. Obviously, I'm repurposing it. So I wrote down my games. You can have challenges. I'm starting to write down all the games that I played starting in January and continuing on. So those are all the games that I've played, and I just have to, there we go. And then I have to rate them still, but I started at least. And then, so these are where you would normally write down like some of the bigger, more interesting books that you want to talk about that you read. So again, I'm repurposing it for gaming. So I'm writing down the title, when it was published, and then just some stuff that, what did I really like about the game or the play that I did. And so, yeah, it's not 100% perfect, but it was cool, and I thought I would give it a try. So yeah, that's that. And then I also bought a couple other things from them. This is just a writing steno book, but it's got a kitten on it, and I love cats. So again, just a regular book. And then I got some decals, and then this is washi tape. which I did not show in my board game because I forgot about it until after. But yeah, there's just really cool designs, so I could just put this on stuff. So there's some bats, some kittens, if that will focus, maybe not. So yeah, there's just a bunch of different ones that I got, and they're all cool looking. So yeah, just very excited. Just little things. I like gizmos and gadgets and what's its galore. Shout out to Little Mermaid. So I talked about this a little bit in my January chat video. I got the field notes from Peter McKinnon. He does a lot of journaling with these field notes. He's a photographer. And so I got my first set in, which is like the red one that I showed in that video. And then, so I've been doing some journaling. I started it at the end of February because of when I got them in, and it's been nice just jotting down some of my ideas, my thoughts for the day. I'm not writing every day, but I'm not forcing myself to write every day, but just when I feel like it. And then Barnes & Noble actually reopened a store by my work. They used to be in the city, and then they closed down, and then after it's been a couple years, I think, since they closed, but then they just recently reopened in a different location. Paris and I went on opening day, so I bought some tarot cards, and I got a couple of the programming books. So I got the Python book that I was using, and these tarot cards are pretty cool. I haven't really done a lot with tarot, but you can sense a theme. Kind of, same type of book, not related at all to each other. This is the Phantomwise Tarot from the author of The Night Circus, the author, the series, which I haven't read. But yeah, so it came with like a little book of, just what the different cards could mean as you interpret them. And so here's just some of them. So cool art. And actually, I am going to use this for a RPG that I got in called Tangled Blessings. So it's kind of like a Harry Potter. You're going to an academy or a school, magic school. It's slightly darker though. So I thought these tarot cards would actually go really well with that. But just kind of fits the theme really nicely. And there's that. So yeah, so I'm excited to get that going. I have a lot to get going. Board games, RPGs, so much stuff. It's a challenge. All right. It was a really good month for RPGs, February. It doesn't seem like it, but for me, it was a good month. Unfortunately, RPGs has taken a back seat to even board gaming. So board gaming took a back seat to life, and then RPGs took a back seat to board games. So not much has been done with RPGs lately, or previously. I'm trying to dedicate more time to it, though. I have a block in my head, though, where it seems like it takes a lot longer to set up for an RPG and to, play through a solo session than it does for me to set up and play through a board game. Completely false. Some of the board games, I just played a game over the weekend that was 3.5 hours because I had forgotten most of the rules. So I was kind of trying to, figure out what the rules were again. So yeah, RPG, maybe 10 minutes to set up. I got to find my dice, got to get the computer going so I can type notes and stuff, and then grab my books, and then I could play for like 20 minutes, 40 minutes. So it's way less time, but it's just a block in my head where it seems like it takes longer. In some cases, that's accurate. I can get like a button shy game out, play it in like 10 minutes, be done totally, but in a lot of cases, it's not. It's just I got to get over myself. So I have been playing more. I am more involved with RPG stuff, and I plan to continue that. I am going to post some links down in my description if you want to check them out. I'll put Ginny D's link in there to her YouTube channel. I really like her videos. I'll put the Conquest journal stuff in there. I'll put my friend Paris Hansen. I'll put her author stuff in there, her book stuff. So yeah, there will be some links down there if you want to check them out. thank you for joining me today. This, as I mentioned earlier, this was the first RPG specific video that I've done for a previous month, so I hope you like it. I hope you like some of the stuff that you've seen in here. Go ahead and leave me a comment. Let me know if you are interested in any of the RPGs that I talked about, or if you'd like to see any further videos on some of the different ones that I mentioned and that I showed off. I do have a couple ideas in mind already, but I love more ideas if you want to send them my way. Thank you. Have a good day. You didn't record any of it?